As the world of e-commerce expands and most of the tags are being moved to be handled through web services, almost everything is being run by the framework of flowing data. And the one who controls it well, will win in the day and age. Hey, how's it going? It's Alphonsine here, and today I'll be sharing with you the potential of utilizing the art of manipulating data, or what's better known as data science, to the fullest, and create an optimized algorithm which only has the sky for its limit. But before I go into any sort of technical stuff, I want you to know why you should care, especially if you are a technical nerd, because you know how you can use your skills to slightly cheat to get yourself developed on the extroverted side, because for sure you being a tech nerd does not limit you to the limitless opportunities in the world of business. And as the world of e-commerce expands and most of the tags are being moved to be handled through web services, almost everything is being run by the framework of flowing data. And the one who controls it well, will win in the day and age. But understanding data and manipulating it are the two sides of the same coin, although they are two different things in themselves. So in this video, we are going to dig deep into the relationship between understanding data and manipulating it, which will in turn help you stand out against the competition in business or whatever thing you're trying to do. So alright, I have compiled a list of steps in order to make this a little simpler to understand. At the first step, we need to know how to seemingly integrate data science and business together. Because it's not newcomer that running a successful business requires marketing tactics and stand out different from the rest of the competition, which on the other hand drives more potential people. So it's the reason why the need of building a solid framework with the help of data has been utilized worldwide for decades. But the most important aspects of any business, regardless of its niche specs, is the audience base that keep people engaging. To do that, you need to know what people like and what people hate. And the digital representation of how the market feels about your product is nothing but a flow of data, which are constructed within the network of formulas fundamentally constructed by numbers. Now the second step is not gonna be something out of your reach and understandings, which is numbers. Because numbers are the holy grail when it comes to the scalability in whatever you're trying to do. Whether it is that you are trying to grow your sales revenue, or are trying to increase the social influence of a company or yourself, or building a personal brand. And one of the things I have found most common in successful people is that they know their numbers really well. Really well. Everything from writing long emails to prospects or clients to developing the blueprint of a product, it will all be built around the one and only fundamental concept, numbers, and will continue to be influenced on, such as your product, service, description, or contents on the sales email list, no matter how well constructed, would eventually consist of three types of data strings. And not only that, whether it is text-based, video-based, or audio-based marketing, this will be built around the same fundamentals. So what are they really? And what are they based upon? Psychology and math. And three specific type of string questions are: 1. Strings that contain questions, strings that contain information, and the number 3 is strings that contain requests. These are the three fundamental sides of human psychology that triggers emotion, thus encourages engagement. But every piece of information that is being delivered to us all the time contains multiple instances of these three specific types of data in it. And the effectiveness of marketing is dependent by the ratio of the types of strings used versus the number of instances of strings used. The ratio is the coded value of the effectiveness of the content. And like that, we come to the third step, which is algorithm to decode information into numbers. Now, this is the most important part of this entire thing, and as a matter of fact, also the most complicated one, normal to extract information from a piece of marketing content as a form of numbers. We need to focus on many different things that are not linear every time you use it. Meaning, in a linear fashion, high output value on all its outcome, the higher effectiveness. So building a reliable algorithm around this is not a piece of cake. There's just a ton of things to keep in mind, or in fact, there's not much to keep in mind. The sole concept is just to optimize what's working and what's not. That tells you that this should be an algorithm that is capable of knowing how to reconstruct the construction of the algorithm every time the result, such as sales revenue of action, is decoded into numbers and measured. This just on paper sounds ungodly difficult, and it is, and 10x more powerful as much as its difficulty level. But the thing is that, as a human, you'll be more than capable of accomplishing the same task without a smart algorithm at a price of time, as I assume most entrepreneurs can get away with. But big businesses investing in the development of such a thing is definitely worth it. Now, regardless of whether you are a big corporation or a small business owner, the one thing you would always need is a tool for measurement. Now we have come to the last step of this very episode, that is the measurement tool, because now we need to know how to put the values we would get from decoding the result of all this information and activities we spend providing in the expectation of getting traffic to whatever we are doing. The result is the outcome of things we did on our end from the other end. We need to evaluate the results, so we want a measurement tool. What could you ask better than machine learning? And one of the components of supervised machine learning is regression, and trigger a chain reaction of traffic building up, as we are talking about at the beginning of this video. Using this effectively, you can do what it seems to fall under this formula. It will potentially start to grow by the squared value of what you started with. For example, if you had a gross revenue of 2, it could lead to you growing 4 times as much few times applied, then 4 times as much one time applied, 16 times as much few times applied, 16 times as much one time applied, and 256 times as much few times applied, 256 times one time applied. Alright, well, all of these are just sounding amazing, but how do we actually start applying this to yield the results of the current business? What is the formula for governing the information represented to text, audio, or video into numbers? And how do we differentiate the 3 core aspects of information as we mentioned at the beginning? And how do we plot the results using regression? I am so confused. That might be what you're telling to yourself. Well, in this part 1 of this topic, I wanted to introduce the basic framework of how it can be done effectively. But like most things, execution is a completely different story. It's hard, but that's what brings the sweet fruits. Something worthwhile takes time. And I want this to be the most informative possible to anyone who is seeking to improve. So in the part 2 of this series, we're going to cover the same. All I want is for you to stick with me as we both go on this beautiful ride as technology is. Make sure to follow me here so you don't miss out on the next parts of the series, and also enjoy some other form of technology and business related content that I post here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.